What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video on the channel. It is Sunday. I hope you're all having a great weekend, but it is time to start preparing for the coming week. We have some big important things to be looking at this week. We have the NASDAQ almost approaching all-time highs. We have the S&P 500 hitting all-time highs, and we have some relative underperformance on the Dow. So we'll look at those futures, and then we're going to look at some stocks that I think are ready to make some big breakouts after breaking above some very important downtrends on their daily charts. So we're going to break down those stocks, we're going to break down the futures, and we're going to prepare for the coming week. With that said, I hope you guys enjoy this video. If you do, after watching it, make sure to press that like button for me. Subscribe to the channel for some future videos. Make sure to remember that I live stream every day starting at 8 a.m. Eastern, going over the pre-market and preparing you for the day. So make sure to check that out as well. Let's go ahead and jump into this video. So let's go ahead and start this video by breaking down the futures. Number one is the NASDAQ. If you've been watching the live streams and stopping by for these Sunday technical videos, I must say that we have done a great job at mapping out this NASDAQ. It's been working very nicely according to technical analysis, watching certain support, certain resistance levels, break and retests on this NASDAQ, a very nice uptrend that we are seeing right now. So first things first, the uptrend that we've had here for some time, right? So we've bounced off these twice. I'm going to go into these futures a little bit light here today. If you want to get a daily analysis on these NASDAQ, on the Dow, on the S&P, come hang out in the live streams. We do this every single morning to make sure that we're aware of what's going on. So what we were watching over the last week was this 13.9 resistance. So right around here, we had resistance from back in February. We were sort of chopping around at that level earlier this week. We did break through it very nicely on the 10th, which I believe was Friday. So we had a nice move through that on Friday, a very, very strong move through that 13.9, and that is very, very bullish in my opinion. And I think that is what we needed to push us to all-time highs, which really is just a few points off right now. Just about, if you use this 14,064, we're just about 80 points off on the NASDAQ. So very, very close, approaching that all-time high. What you want to see if you're a bull is, of course, you want to see this uptrend hold, right? So you don't want to see us break that uptrend right there. You have a few bounces on this short-term uptrend. Now, of course, this uptrend is sort of short, like I said, and that means it's not going to be as strong as an uptrend like we have been mapping out here over the last year. So we've had this very strong uptrend here. I expect that one to hold into the future. This shorter term one, obviously not going to be as strong, but if you want to stay bullish in the extreme short term, you definitely want to see that uptrend hold here on the NASDAQ. So in this little choppiness, we had a few resistance and support levels. So right around here, you guys can see we have a few resistance levels right here. 1, 2, turned it into support, and we want to see that hold into the future. So if I go to the shorter term time frames, you will see this a little bit better. Let me go to the 20-day hourly. So right here, this is a great example. You guys know that we've been watching this choppiness over the last few weeks. We turned that resistance into support, and we are now breaking through this resistance here at 13.9. So next week, what's the goal? The goal for the NASDAQ next week is to hold above 13,900. If we can hold above 13,900 throughout all next week, that is a very, very big plus for tech, a very big plus for the NASDAQ. And with the decrease that we've seen in the 10-year bond rates, that will most likely help this NASDAQ hold up a little bit next week. So that's what I'm watching. NASDAQ above 13.9. If we are above that by next Friday, this coming Friday, very bullish. If we get that dip below, we just really want to see this previous resistance turn into support once again, something like right here, right? So right around this 13.7, 13.8 level, that needs to hold to stay bullish in the short term. So that's it for the NASDAQ, guys. Pretty short here. As we approach these all-time highs, the analysis is going to get a little bit less important, not important, but a little bit less detailed, because once we hit that all-time high, really all that we can be watching is what support is to the downside. What do we need to hold to stay bullish? Because if you're at those all-time highs, there's no resistance above, so it's very difficult to know where we head. So once we hit that all-time high, if it's next week, if it's the following week, we're just going to have to be looking below and seeing where that support is. Next, let's go ahead and get into the S&P. S&P, in fact, tapped all-time highs on Friday. So if we go here to the yearly, the daily chart here, you guys will see we held this support here very nicely at 4180, then 4200, and we sort of stair-stepped our way up to that all-time high. We tapped it, found some resistance there. You can see that was a pretty big wick there. So if I go to the 10-day right here, you can see is the wick that we went through, tapped those all-time highs, quickly got rejected, and then found resistance again here at 42.38. So this 42.38, 42.40, I believe was previous highs, which is right back here. You guys can see that right there, previous highs. And those previous highs definitely turned into support here on Friday. So you have the high here from the 7th of May, right around here. Actually, I don't believe that is the all-time high. Let me make sure of that before I post this video. Let me go back to the yearly. Okay, so it actually is. So right here was the all-time high on the 7th of May. We did tap above that. So right here in the 5-minute, you guys can see that 42.38 line that we drew. We got above it, fell below, and right here were 2 rejections on Friday. So very interesting. Next week for S&P, 42.38 will be the key level to see if we can hold, if we can break and hold above that level and continue bullish in the short term. So 42.38, keep that on your charts. The Dow has been quite interesting. We have been selling off while the S&P and the NASDAQ have been making higher highs, making higher lows, and continuously moving in a bullish formation. On the Dow, we are starting to move lower. Very interesting to see this rotation back into these growth stocks, back into tech. It seems like the decrease in the yields may be getting some more people interested back into these high growth tech stocks, and that is the direct result of why we are seeing this downturn on the Dow. People moving money out of those Dow stocks, Caterpillar, Home Depot. Caterpillar had a terrible week last week, and most of that money is flowing into those tech stocks. So right now, be careful on the Dow. We have resistance, and we have resistance right here. So this 34,800 to 35,000 level will be very tough. Let's see if the Dow can hold up some support next week. We did move lower basically the last 3 days of last week. Let's see if we can get a bounce here. We should try to see some support at these previous highs right here. So I am expecting us to be in a little bit of a demand zone here on the Dow, just because you have these previous resistance levels, this previous resistance level. I want to see that turn into support here. You did turn it into support back on the 2nd of June. Let's see if we can turn that into support coming into the next week. So on the Dow, support around 34,400, resistance around 34,800 to all-time highs of 35,000. So that's my review on the NASDAQ, the S&P, and the Dow. If you want to get these analysis every single day, just come into the live stream. I do this every single morning for the people that are watching so that we can prepare for the day and make sure that we know where these overall markets are at. All right, guys, so now that we went over the futures, let's get into some stocks. So let's look at some stocks that I believe are ready to break out this coming week. Zoom is the number one that we are watching. Zoom had some price target increases last week. It had earnings on the 1st of June, and the bullishness has been starting to come in. Volume is starting to increase, and I really like this chart. First reason, big time downtrend right here that did go ahead and break after earnings was reported. So you guys can see downtrend. We are now cracking above that downtrend, and with that price target increase on Friday, it was a massive day for Zoom, and I think that the momentum can still be here coming into next week. I am watching a little bit of resistance right around these levels, 380 to 400, so definitely be aware of this area around 380. Mark it on your chart, turn it red, do this, colors, red, make it transparent, go up here to RGB if you want, actually no, HSL, and then go to transparency, lower that, and there you go. You have your red resistance zone right here around 380. That is a must-watch level into next week, but I love the downtrend break. I love the support that we're seeing. I love the earnings move. And if you guys break this down even closer, if we go to the 30-day, actually, you know what? Let's go. Let me see if I can find this on the hourly. So right here, you can see that downtrend, right? We broke above it. Not only did we break above it, we retested it as support and we moved higher. That is beautiful to see. Here on the 4-hour, you can see that even better. So you can see a break of trend, a retest of it, and a nice bounce higher. Break and retest on this long-term downtrend. I am looking for Zoom to continue up towards 380 next week with some of this momentum. Let's watch it. Let's see what happens. Of course, if we reject off 380, make sure to be careful holding anything through that level. But the downtrend break keeps me bullish. let's see what happens next week. All right, so I may get a little bit of heat for number 2, but number 2 is AMC. Now, all the things aside, meme stock aside, everything out of your mind about what this stock is, the technicals look absolutely fantastic in my opinion. If you're just looking at technicals, if this was Apple, if this was Microsoft, if this was Zoom, let's say from the last example, I would still say that this chart looks fantastic, not that it's just AMC. Let's break this down. So you have this very, very big bull flag on the hourly chart here. This is not the daily. This is the 1 hour chart. I can't really break it down to the daily because it's pretty much straight up here. You can start to see a little bit of a flag here on the daily as well. Right there, you can see that flag. But for a short-term momentum move like we're seeing on AMC, I'd rather be looking at the hourly and sort of break this down a little bit closer. So you have this hourly chart. You have these highs. You have this downturn, right? You have this downtrend that has formed. You also have rock solid support at 44 to 45. I have been watching this 44 level for the last 2 weeks, and every single time we've come down to it, we have found buyers. We came down to that level on Friday, and we had a very, very nice bounce off of it once again. And what did we do? We broke the downtrend here on the hourly. We broke out of this bull flag. Now, into next week, if we hold 44, if this continues above this downtrend, this could really get moving again, in my opinion. I'm not 100% certain. Don't listen to everything I say as a certain thing, but this trend looks fantastic in my opinion. We have this downtrend. We have the breakout. We have the 44 support hold. If we find momentum next week, if the meme stocks start moving again, then I want to see AMC start moving again also after this downtrend break. So let's see how AMC performs. I'd expect some resistance around 54, right around these highs right here. Then I would expect resistance of really strong resistance up here around 59 to 60. You guys can see we have multiple resistance right here, and we have the resistance right here. So next levels above $54 and $60 a share. If we get moving next week after this breakout, those will be the two resistance levels that I will be watching. All right, guys, number 3 is Peloton. Now, Peloton is a very interesting one, something that we called out below 100, that it would eventually get back to there. But now, not only did we get above 100, it looks like we may be heading higher. So the first thing that I was watching on Peloton was this downtrend, a very strong downtrend here on Peloton. You guys can see right here, we have these resistance levels, 1, 2, 3, 4, created that downtrend. If you drag that downtrend down, you can see we did find resistance at it once again, but we are starting to find support above that downtrend. We are turning that downtrend into support rather than resistance. Now, not only that, we have support in this level right around 100 to 101. So let's go ahead and draw a zone here because that's really what it comes down to. It's a zone of demand, a zone of support. We have bounced off that multiple times. 1, 2, 3. We did fall through it this time, but look how strong this reaction was back above 100. This little rejection of the downside and a strong move higher, this just tells me that there are a ton of buyers below 100 because look how quickly we got bought up and moved back above 100. Not only did we just break back above 100, we had a strong move back into this downtrend. Now, this is the key thing here on Peloton. Let's sort of analyze what happened here near this downtrend. So right here, white line is the downtrend. You can see we did have a little bit of trouble there, but this pullback right here, back to retest the top of that downtrend, look at this reaction off of the top of that downtrend. So if we break this down, let's try the hourly chart here. Here's a very good example here on the hourly. So we got the push above downtrend. We did fall back below. We held this previous resistance as support here at 100, 101, around 102. We did move higher, and right here, we tested the downtrend and found perfect support. That is very, very bullish in my opinion. Just looking at the technicals here, I really like that. And now that we have that higher high, what I can do is I can draw an uptrend. Right here, you can see higher low. Now that we have that higher low, I can draw that uptrend. And moving forward, I want to see Peloton hold this uptrend right here. And I want to see us continue to make higher highs above these highs of 114. So overall, guys, on Peloton, $100 is a key support level that I believe will hold into the future. Moving out to the daily chart, I want to see this downtrend. I want to see us hold above this downtrend. if we can continue to hold above this downtrend, I am looking for Peloton to continue higher here. The first resistance would be around 115, 116 right here at this 100 day. And then I would be watching these highs right here, which is a gap down also. But not only is it a gap down, it has resistance right here and right here. And then, of course, you have this top of this gap down right here. So 123, I believe, will be tough to the upside. So to the upside, 116 and 123. But right now, I am bullish on Peloton into next week because of this downtrend hold. Number 4 is AFRM, AFRM. This is a stock some people I think may have forgotten about, but I believe this is a great fintech startup. When you guys go to make big purchases online, let's say you're buying a new set of wheels for your car, let's say you're buying a couch, something big, maybe over $5,000 to $10,000. AFRM is that little thing that you see that asks if you want to pay it in installments. If you want to get a loan, or if you just want to pay it in, say, 4 payments, 10 payments, 20 payments, AFRM is a company that does that. And I like that type of business model, and I like this fintech startup, and it's a stock that has been beaten down in the recent trends. So we hit a high of 146 after IPO, and we have sort of turned down this entire time over the last few months. A big sell-off on AFRM. Now, last week, they announced a partnership with Shopify. They will be on Shopify offering that payment plan, offering those installment plans. Now that I think is a great thing for AFRM, for a firm. It's more eyes on that option of paying with this company. So I've been watching this chart. We were calling this out in the Discord chat. I know some of you got into this one. I think we're a little bit early here. So I want to continue to watch this into next week, that maybe we can see a little bit of ignition off of these lows here around $46. The key thing that I'm watching is right here on the 4-hour chart. So here's the 4-hour. Here's the last few weeks. So we were watching this level here at right around 66. So we had these previous lows, 66, 1, 2, 3. We did break below it, but we did try to test it here. You guys can see very strong resistance. But what did we do on Friday? We broke above this level. Now, do you get in right now? My opinion, absolutely not. What do I want to see? I want to see a break, and I want to see a retest. Retest of 66. If we turn that into support, this is my buy. Right here on this retest of 66, that's my buy signal for a move back higher. Off this previous resistance, I want to see it turn into support here at 66. We have this breakout of 66. We have this news with Shopify. I'm definitely going to be watching AFRM, AFRM, into next week. So guys, the last one that I have for you here is just a slow grinding stock that continues to move higher, and that is Starbucks. Everyone's favorite coffee spot when they feel like treating themselves, or they have that guilty pleasure of going there all the time and spending way too much money. But Starbucks looks like a great buy right now, in my opinion. Let's go ahead and see what happens here in the next few weeks. But the reason I say this, and of course, don't just buy because I'm saying that. I am not a financial advisor. Everything I say in this video is totally wrong. Please do not buy off my opinions. All I'm doing here is just doing some technical analysis. But if it was me, I'd be looking to see if we can get a bounce here off this uptrend here on Starbucks. So the reason I'm saying this, you have a very strong uptrend that is held multiple times. 1, 2, you're holding it here. 3, and now we are at that level once again, and we are starting to grind higher on that uptrend. If I go into the 4-hour, you guys will see this even cleaner. So right here, you guys will see this uptrend that has been holding, and we are starting to hold it once again right here on Starbucks. So these days, a consistent grind higher on this uptrend, and what I want to see is a break above this downtrend right here. So can we move higher out of this little wedge pattern? Can we move higher, break above this downtrend, maybe retest it as support, and then get that move higher, right? Something like that, a break, a retest, and a move higher here on Starbucks. This stock has continuously moved higher over the last year. It's not a quick mover, it's a slow mover. You buy shares, you buy leaps. You can try to catch that short-term momentum, but it may be a little bit difficult. But overall, in general, guys, I'm just pointing this out because you have a beautiful, beautiful uptrend here on Starbucks that is held all the way for almost a year now, a year-long uptrend that has pulled back. And every single time that we have pulled back to this uptrend in the past, it has been a good buy. So why not see if it could bounce off this once again, like it has every other time? and see if we can break the downtrend that has formed. If we break this downtrend, I think that Starbucks is easily heading back here to highs. Once we get this breakout, once we get the movement back into Starbucks, we could easily see us back at 119. So Starbucks, number 5, another one to be watching into the next coming weeks. So if you're still watching this video, first off, I want to say thank you, and I want to offer you a discount for the Discord chat. 30% off your first 3 months. The code is LIVE. That is live. It's for the people that are watching the live streams, and now it is for the people that are still watching me right now. Thanks for watching the video. Hope you guys enjoyed the analysis. If you did, press that like button for me. Subscribe to the channel for some future videos. You can also press the bell notification so that you're alerted every single time that I post and every single time that I go live. Hope you guys have a great rest of your weekend, and I hope I prepared you a little bit for the coming week. Make some money, focus on risk management, and I hope to see you guys in the next video. Peace.